Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I am excited. I have an amazing elder law attorney who's going to introduce herself in just a second. Elder law is one of those areas that I love to talk about because there's just so much there that a lot of people don't know about. But before I bring her onto the virtual stage, go ahead and check out this video to give you a reminder of what Care Sandwich is all about.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Help me welcome to the virtual stage, Sierra Butler.
Hello,
hello there.
Hi.
We were talking a little bit backstage about your story, and I want you to tell us all about it. Who are you? What do you do? And how'd you end up here?
Ready, set, go. Loaded question. Okay. So, like you said, I am Sierra Butler. I am a mother, a wife, a lawyer, a business owner, and a super fun human, in my opinion. But my story about having a law firm, in some ways, I never expected to be a law firm owner. That wasn't something on my, my 5-10 year plan, when I was finishing up law school. And when I started out, I wasn't even doing elder law, which I absolutely love. It kind of took me a while to find exactly what kind of law I was supposed to be doing and that I'm actually supposed to be running a firm. So I'm a little slow on the uptick, but it's been a really fun journey. So one of the things that I do, so I have this law firm, Butler Elder Law. And when I first started out, I was practicing actually family law in Massachusetts, and didn't love it. I felt like I was fighting with the weather, fighting with my clients, fighting with my natural personality. And so once I finally woke up and realized that, and I came back to Florida where I'm from, I ended up working at an elder law firm. And I began to realize that, my skill set definitely lends itself to me being more successful as an elder law attorney. I love collaboration. I love binding people. And I was able to realize, there is asset protection planning and Medicaid. There's guardianship. We have, we're dealing with an aging population or a family member. And here's a problem. And my skill set is finding the right people. I'm like a quarterback, finding the right people that can do the job, whether it's a social worker or a CPA, and building a team around a client to help that person. It could be that I represent the actual aging person or their family member, or sometimes even a professional. But when I first started out, I was, an associate attorney. And then this thing happened, and I'm the kind of girl that likes to do everything really big. So It's not like I have this slow trajectory. No, I decide that I'm going to get married, have a baby, open my own firm, all within a short period. So when I did that, I was always the worker bee, right? I didn't have that mentality of I didn't have to go out and I didn't have to rainmake. But I definitely credit my husband, who was like, you know what, I think you can do this. And I was at this season. So that's kind of theme I want to talk about today, is we all have seasons in life. And At that time, your season, I was in a what's happening season. I've got hormones because I'm having a baby, but I'm trying to do all these transitions. And that season was, I know that I like this area of law. I know that I've got a knack for things, and why not give this a real solid try? So I opened up, it was like May 7th of 2016, and I established Butler Elder Law. And it was just me in my house with my baby. And then I eventually, which is kind of what we can talk about, is I eventually kind of put together just a little plan. I decided I liked something just enough. And then I always think to myself, who does something better than me and who can help me get to the next thing? And so
that's a good tip. So who does something better than me is what you ask yourself.
I always ask myself, like, I have an issue or I have a problem or I want to be somewhere else, right? I'm not where I want to be. And identifying generally what those are and who does it better than me? Is there an attorney that's been a business owner that's done something that's better than me that I want to ask them about? Maybe it's a particular case problem. You can apply it to anything. Maybe it's a particular elder law case. Who's doing that? Who's done it before and does it well? Who have I heard from other people do it well? And for clients, if I need a realtor or I need somebody that does some specialty, who does it well? Who's doing it? And can I learn from them? Is this something I should hire out or should I try to do it myself? I mean, that's always the big thing. I think that's always been the biggest struggle, though, as a person starting out as a solo. And now we can so before it was just me, baby, sitting in my home. Now I'm on my fourth or fifth reiteration of an office, and I've got an associate attorney and a paralegal and a full-time receptionist and 2 part-time people, and I'm investing in technology. Things look a lot different from when I started out, but everything I've done has been, okay, where is it that I want to be? And sometimes, honestly, I've actually said to myself, right now, I need to stay right here, or there's other things going on in my life of seasons. And maybe I don't need to be making a move right now, but maybe I need to keep the status quo intentionally.
So what would you say to somebody who is where you were right when you made that decision to go out on your own and do this on your own and is thinking, I don't know what season I'm in? Like, how do you know you're in a season to do versus in a season to wait?
So great question. So one of the things that I think you can do is first kind of take stock of personally, how much energy do I have? And it doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of a general overview of how much energy do I feel like? Am I just generally motivated to want to do the next thing? Now people are all different, right? I am I'm an ENFJ. I'm very feelings motivated, futuristic. Okay. And so part of it for me is learning. I did all those personality tests, the Clifton Strengths, the test, all those things. Right. And it's about, for me, it was about finding out first who I am. And then do I have the motivation? So for me, it's very intuitive and it's something that I feel. But if you're not a feeling person, right? If you're not a feeling person, then you've got to figure out what your way is. So for example, maybe you're a person that you thrive on the data. So fine, make a list of, all right, where is my family situation? Do I have an aging parent? Do I have a child that has something going on or a special need or, or is there something else that I want to do? Maybe I shouldn't, do this one goal because I really want to take this giant, vacation that I've planned on. Well, you can't be doing that. So it's really thinking about truly what you want. And so for me, it's a little bit easier, but I would think if you're more relying on data, I would literally journal, write them out, pros and cons. And then always be available to be open to shift too. Because I've had times where I thought I was ready and then I took a step or two and I realized that I wasn't, and that's okay. And I recalibrated.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, Our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
So I love that. And if I could share something kind of personal, but I'm sharing it on this podcast now, so we'll see. So a lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, oh, like, because my core is data analytics, right? So I pick up on patterns in data, right? It's like, there's an explanation. You can always see where things are going, right? Mm-hmm. But surprisingly, those who know me the most, I'm very intuitive. And I'm going to connect the dots between what you said in a different way. And I agree with everything that you said. I operate the same way. I think that there's external data that's tangible, like the life decisions, right? Like the facts, what's in your bank account. Can you afford this, right? I'm going to call that external, tangible data out here. Okay. And then there's internal data, which is your spidey senses, right? I have boys, so we use the term spidey senses, right? Where you're like, this feels off, or this feels good, or this feels scary, or this, that is also data. Like I really do believe that I'm going to call them two sides. The data analytics side and the intuitive side really are the same. They're two sides of the same coin. Like I analyze my gut feelings the way I would analyze external data, like the amount of money in an account when I'm going to make an investment. So I think that what you said is like on point, where you're trying to make a decision. You want to use the tangible data, like your risk tolerance, your goals, like all those things that you can appreciate externally, but then also follow your heart. Because here's what I've observed as a fractional CMO for law firms. I work with law firms that are massive. And then I also work with law firms that just started 2 days ago. And I work with law firms for many, many years, and I see the trajectory. Those that have that passion, that emotional, intuitive, like this is my life's purpose, they're able to think bigger and get closer to the decisions that they need to make to really move the needle on their growth a lot better than those that just don't have the passion, where maybe based on external data, they said to themselves, I'm tired of having a boss, so I'm just going to start my own firm. Like, okay, that was just based on external data, but you said something like, what excites you? Like you asked yourself also like how you were feeling about it, or you said, how much energy do I have for this, right? Mm-hmm. So that's tapping into your emotions and your passion. Like, I really think that based on what you described, the data tells me you're very likely to overcome everything that comes with being an entrepreneur, because it's not easy. I mean, unless, you have a trust fund and you have endless risk tolerance, it really is not easy to start your own firm, build your own brand, run marketing, operations, like all of it. It's a lot. And you have to really have the passion. That's what gets you to the other side, because those practical things are going to come and go.
And I love what you're saying. So there's something that I kind of want to mention when you talk about that, is you're like, in your world, you're like, you've got these like equal, like, okay, there's my analytical side and there's my gut. And for you, they're all together. And then going back to what I said before is like, I know that my stronger side is my intuitive. And I know that my weaker side is the recognizing patterns sometimes. And so what do? I fill in those gaps with people that do it better, or I watch what other people are doing, right? Because I realize that like, not so much. So like my husband, it's funny because as a team of spouses, he is on the more analytical side, less intuitive side. So that really works out. But in my business, I have to go outside, fractional CFO situation, to get those things that I'm not as it's not my strength, right? Now I'm not blessed. I've gotten a lot better at it. But like here, I'm going to find somebody that does it way better than I do to help me so I can level up there. And so that just is key. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, because when you said about having all that, somebody might just say, oh, I've got all this excitement, but like hasn't been able to like channel it, or they're concerned about things, or how do I put that into action? One thing that I did that I didn't even realize that I did it when I started out, but now looking back, it definitely helped carry out every decision that I've made, is thinking about, what is that statement? What are you here to do? And so for me, it was, when I started out, I wanted to be able to leverage technology and use it to help people get through these elder law situations, helping their loved one, or helping family members, even helping non-family members if I'm representing a professional. But it's always been, how do I do that? I really like connecting people, but is there a way that technology can make this more efficient? And my goodness, have we seen a lot of changes. And one of those things that kind of goes along with changes and the seasons in life that I'm at is, I had some seasons where I wasn't as motivated personally to do things, and if we're going to get personal here, I'm happy to. I have a child, and he's really high ADHD, and I was working really hard to get him these supports and work on ourselves and parenting, and that was just a season in life. And so we've had some of these. We've had loss of loved ones, things like that in our family. And I thought I was maybe ready to go and scale and try to do things and invest more. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that's not where I need to be right now. Well, turns out in the last 2 months and getting into the new year, I really decided to, now I'm going to do it. Like, nothing is going to stop me. I'm ready. I feel it. Everything feels in line. I've got the people in line that are looking at the data and noticing those patterns for me. I've gone to some conferences. I've been reading more. I'm thinking about all of these things more, but I'm always thinking about my mission. And now, so it's made it very easy to pull the trigger on signing contracts, for example, to implement new technology. And I know that means I'm going to need to hire somebody else too. So those things, it all just kind of gets interwoven with that season, but having that written down, and it's on my website, of like, that was kind of the goal, and that's why I started out, and it's still the mission, really helps when I'm like, should I do this or not? Does it fit within that goal? And then how do I feel? Does the data say that? And what's the gut say?
And I'm going to pull out another nugget that I read in between what you just said. It's okay to give yourself grace if you make a choice and it works out differently, and you realize you thought you were in a certain season and you're not. That's okay. That's still a benefit, because what I gleaned from what you just shared is you learned what you needed to learn, and it was the perfect setup now for this season, because now you have that much more commitment, because you recognize the difference of where you were at versus where you are now. And it's like, oof. Tell us where you are.
Can I give you the perfect example of that right there?
Yes. And then
I think that's tangible. Yeah, I want tangible things. So there was a time when, and it was within the first year or two of starting the practice, I remember still at home, didn't have an office, had the baby. I had signed up for a particular CRM tool. And I had, I researched it. I really liked it. I paid for it, and I didn't implement on the onboarding. It just fell apart, and I didn't get off the ground. And for a while, I just wrote it off as, okay, that was I made a bad business decision because I didn't have everything I needed to see it through. And that's okay. I will reassess this later. Well, here's later now. And I have decided that this is the same tool, right? Is the one that I definitely want. But now I have a tech implementation guru that I've had that will help me. So here's the funniest part. Okay. This is what just cracks me up. So I go back to the company and I'm like, hey, remember me? I realized I made a mistake back then. I didn't have what I needed to carry it out. I do now. They gave me a deal on it, and we worked out what it was. And, so I just chuckle. It was just the exact perfect example of that happening. Just happened.
I love that. And thank you for sharing, because CRM systems are one of the things that we help our clients implement. And it's and it's not because, we're like biased or whatever toward that tactic, because like I explained, we're not biased toward anything. But I feel like it's one of the most valuable, like fundamental things that you need to have. Like it's even as important as your website if you're going to scale. And so many law firm owners go through exactly what you just described, where they're like, okay, I understand top level, I need this, but then they don't give it the attention to actually execute. And most law firms, not you, you're special. Most law firms are like, CRM systems don't work. And it's like, ah! So I love that you shared that, because I think it's very valuable for any law firm owners that are listening that maybe are intimidated by something new that will help their business, overwhelmed, skeptical. Like literally don't be. Like try it out. And if it doesn't work out, then try it out again and recognize where you as a business owner maybe didn't, cooperate or have the infrastructure. But like when the time is right, like have these things that are going to help you scale, these tools like, like AI, like, call centers or, receptionists, sales and intake, like all of these things. You deserve it. Your business deserves it. Your clients deserve for you to be at your best and not be worn out because things are not working properly, because you're building a law firm with, nails and hammers. There's like all this automation out there. Yeah. But anyway, I could talk to you forever. I feel bad because we went over time. Sierra, please tell the audience if they want to work with you, just remind us, sure, what sorts of cases can you help them with? And then how can they either refer clients to you if it's an attorney that doesn't do what you do, or if it's a listener, like how can people refer cases to you?
Okay. So the areas of practice specifically in elder law that I do. So I represent usually powers of attorney, those named agents, healthcare surrogates, okay? Mm-hmm. Those people that are nominated. And I also do the drafting for that too, if it comes down to it. But really, where we really shine is when someone is concerned about long-term care in the future. Maybe they've had an event, or maybe they're thinking about, there could be a long-term care event for me or my family member. Medicaid qualification and guardianship. And the way to reach me, the best way is to call us or to go to my website, butlerelderlaw.com. And you can even provide me, you can even email me, okay, which is Sierra, SIERRA, @butlerelderlaw.com. And what we can do is we can provide you with all of the information about what we do, how we work. That's a big thing about consultations and how we work. And we will give you price estimates, and it's very, very helpful. And so that is how we, for other attorneys, because I get most of my work through other attorneys that don't do what I do. That is the best way, is let me send you an email that's got all the info on how we work.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And also, I have the most important question, supposedly, of the show.
Hit me.
Coming for you. What is your favorite sandwich? No judgment.
There is no judgment, and I even have a story behind it. Shocking. So it would be the Italian Vito sandwich from Jimmy John's. I love it so much. Ready? Are you ready for this? There is a picture of me after giving birth to my child of the one thing I wanted, and I am holding that sub as if it is my baby.
Oh my God, that is funny. So me, you, and Latrice, a friend of mine who's also an attorney that I've interviewed on Care Sandwich, that's our favorite sandwich. So now there's 3 of us. And we like ours with extra mayo. I don't know about you, but like ridiculous, copious amounts of mayo.
See, I just like copious amounts of oil and vinegar. So clearly we do not like a dry sandwich. So we are on the same page there.
Gosh, that's good stuff. Oh my gosh. Well, Sierra, this has been great. You've been so wonderful to interview. I'm really excited for those of you that were able to tune in live. And if not, catch this on Spotify. We're going to have it on Spotify, Apple, all the podcast platforms here shortly. So stay tuned for the next episode of Care Sandwich. And thanks for joining us for this one.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.